Alright, what's up? I'm going to answer a couple of the questions that were sent to me. Continue to send me questions. This is by no means the end of it. I've only received a few so far, but they've been decent and long enough to fill up 10 minutes. I'm limiting myself to 10 minutes because I'm trying not to ramble. Alright, so let's go to the first. The first question was, I'm not reading it verbatim, but it was, do you think that cigarette prices will ever go down? The person that wrote it was from Connecticut. He's saying that cigarette prices in Connecticut are like $8. No, cigarette prices are not going to go down. They're only going to go up. They found a way to disproportionately tax a portion of the populace that people are willing to support. So they can do whatever the fuck they want. It's strange to me considering that 50% or nearly 50% of adults in this country smoke. How they can get away with this shit, I don't know. That's a question I would like answered, but it's only going to go up. I'm sorry, it's not going to go back down. And it might go up more soon if the economy doesn't stabilize, because they need more money to pay off their interests from the money they borrowed from the Federal Reserve. But that's another fucking story. This is another cigarette question. Can you talk about your opinion on the anti-smoking movement in America? I don't have any problem with telling people not to smoke. In fact, I encourage it. You shouldn't fucking start smoking. It's addictive, it's expensive, and it's bad for your health. I don't think it is as bad as people like to make it out to be. There is no proof that secondhand smoke causes cancer or emphysema or whatever. It could irritate a pre-existing condition, I agree. But if you go to a fucking restaurant and people are smoking in there, you're not going to walk out with fucking cancer, alright? It's fucking fear-mongering. It's stupid. The two problems with the anti-smoking movement right now is, A, the ridiculousness of some of these commercials on TV, like the truth commercials, where they just say outlandish shit and they provide no evidence for where it came from. A big smoking executive said that it's once you're done raping a bunch of infants, that it's great to smoke a cigarette. It really takes the edge off or whatever. What the fuck? Where's your proof for that? Where the fuck did you come up with that shit? Oh yeah, you fucking pulled it out of your ass. Fuck you. And most people are stupid, but even stupid people will see something that ridiculous and just not buy it. And the other problem is that they're trying to get people to quit smoking by alienating smokers from their friends and family, trying to make it like, ooh, if they're a smoker, they're bad or whatever, and that's fucked up. I don't know how that's okay. I don't know how they get away with that shit, but that's my problem with the anti-smoking movement. The next question is kind of the token questions asked to most atheists. If you were forced to be part of one organized religion, what would it be? The one thing I do like about this question, now, if the question had been, if you had to choose one religion to believe in, what would it be? I would have fucking unsubscribed this person, because that's fucking retarded. You cannot be forced to believe something. But if you're forced to be part of, I can respect that. Chaz was intelligent in his wording. If I was forced to be part of one organized religion, the least offensive one to me would probably be something like Buddhism or Hinduism. I'd probably be a Hindu because I like polytheism, because it's got all kinds of cool gods and shit. And you can just make up gods if you fucking want, the god of whatever the fuck you want it to be. I like that. And if I was forced to pick a Christian religion, if I was going for least offensive and least obnoxious, I'd honestly have to be a Mormon. I don't agree with a lot of... Obviously, I think they're all fucking crazy. And I don't agree with Mormons' hatred of gays, but all Christian sects hate gays anyway. But they're definitely the least pushy. Of all the open, blunt conversations I've had about atheism and non-belief with Christians, Mormons have always been the best to have a conversation with, because they're totally willing to fucking speak to you like... They don't talk to you like you're something that crawled out of fucking some scum. And they're not actively trying to recruit you, and I can deal with that. Mormons are used to being, on the fringe, so they're much less offensive to me as an atheist than some other Christian religions. But if I was to have to pick a Christian religion on something other than what repulsed me the least, I guess I'd have to be a Catholic, only because they got all kinds of cool shit and rituals and cool robes and lots of money and cool buildings and shit. They got style, I'll give them that. So if I was to choose a Christian, branch on a purely aesthetic motive, it would probably be Catholics. The last question, which I hope I can answer without fucking bringing up too many questions, is basically, it's a really long question, but basically the meat of it is that I've talked about anarchism and some of my objections to it, but I was basically talking about and with anarcho-socialists and anarcho-communists and shit like that. And as a capitalist and a Ron Paul supporter, etc., what are my thoughts on anarcho-capitalism? Do I think that it could ever work? Well, I think I should answer the second part. If not, do you have any problems with it ethically? I don't have any problems ethically with any form of anarchism, really. Except for communism is just a slick way of packaging fascism. But I don't really have any problem with anarchy ethically. And I've heard a lot of good arguments for anarchy, especially from fucking Confederal Socialists. I've heard a lot of good arguments for anarchy. But I think the key difference between the anarchists and myself is that the anarchist has more faith in human beings than I do. Is that my failing? Is it their failing? I don't know. But I'm sorry, but I just don't believe that people are smart enough to deal with anarchy. I think that people require a state. People require things like that to keep them from doing really retarded shit. To keep gangs of fucking psychopaths roaming the country. Because the problem with, you'd organize groups voluntarily to take down these gangs or whatever, but people who are living in one part of an area that don't have any nationalistic connection with another part, they don't feel them as their countrymen. If they're being attacked, it's not really their concern to do anything about it, and most people wouldn't. That's unfortunate, but I think that's the way it is. Now, I think the state should be extremely limited. This country we're living in is no longer a democracy by any stretch of the imagination. It is a sham democracy, and this isn't even a conspiracy theory thing. It's quite open, It's a sham. But I think that if we were to fucking follow the Constitution and follow a lot of the ideas of the Founding Fathers, that we would have the best state possible. The thing about anarchy is that I've heard great explanations about how all different things that need to be done in society would be done with anarchy. I've had it explained to me quite well how courts would work and how roads would be built and shit like that. But the one thing that's never been explained to me is how you implement the anarchy in the first place. How do you get that to happen? Because it seems to me like the same idea as general disarmament of the populace from guns. You could not disarm everyone unless everyone was willing to disarm at the same time. And you could not implement anarchism unless everyone became an anarchist at the same time. And it's never been explained to me at all. And no one has attempted to show anywhere that I've seen how this could be done. That would be the first step for me towards considering this more seriously, would be how do you get it to work? Because you can have all the best explanations you want, but if you can't actually get your shit started, I'm not interested in it. That's why I'm not interested in communism, because no one has been able to show how you get past the dictatorship of the proletariat and you actually become a communist country. There's never been a communist country. It's never existed. It's never happened. Any communist who tells you otherwise is fucking lying, or they just don't understand anything about their own politics, So I need someone to show me how you get started. All right. So that's some answers for right now. Send me your questions, and I'll answer some more questions later. All right. See ya.